Alright, boils and ghouls. It is like 5 a.m. I passed out so early yesterday and then woke up at like 1 a.m., so now everything's thrown off. But figure, let's talk Mickey's Mousetrap, or The Mousetrap, as it is now called. I don't know the whole reason for the name change, because I thought of this movie like maybe a month ago. Because I did a trailer reaction, which is something I never do on this channel. I don't watch trailers unless it's something I really don't give a shit about, or something I'm so excited about I just can't contain the excitement and I have to, like with Saw 10 last year as a huge Saw fan, and Maxine, I had to watch the trailer for that. But for ones I don't care about, I'm like this movie, I may throw on a trailer. So I actually did a trailer reaction for this. And I didn't remember a single thing from that trailer. That was months ago. But it was Mickey's Mousetrap. And then I thought about it a month or so ago, and I said, whatever happened to that movie? And I looked it up, and it was still called Mickey's Mousetrap. So sometime in the not-too-distant past, I guess they had to change the name and take Mickey's name out of it? Which makes no sense, because, first of all, this is based on the Steamboat Willie 1928 original cartoon version of Mickey. That's the rights that went public domain. As far as I know, anyone who knows more on the public domain and the rights stuff with this, leave it in the comments. But as far as I know, it's the 1928 Steamboat Willie version that went public domain. That's why you can't have Mickey Mouse in his famous red overalls and stuff like in movies like this, because it's not that version of Mickey. It's still owned by Disney. It's the Steamboat Willie version. But he's still called Mickey and Mickey Mouse in this movie, like at least a dozen times, if not more than that. They call him Mickey. They call him Mickey Mouse. They say there's a guy in a Mickey Mouse costume trying to kill us one by one. So they mention his name. So I don't understand the name change of the film itself. Now, I mean, this is going to be short because I don't have a lot to say about this. This was awful. This was so bad in every way that you can imagine. Usually this never happens. I usually never fall asleep during a movie, no matter how bad it is, unless, and you guys know, like I just started this video with, my sleep schedule is always all over the place. I don't sleep much. Been like that my whole life. But I've been sleeping great the last few days. And usually the only time, on the rare occasion, I'll fall asleep while watching a bad movie, or any movie, might not even indicate that it's the movie's fault. It's when I've not been sleeping well for days and I would be exhausted and pass out during a movie. I've been sleeping fine. So when I watched this last night and threw it on, and got about a half hour in, I fell asleep. But after I woke up, I threw it on again. Because I did think to myself, in the first 20 minutes or so, okay, maybe I can get into the mind state to enjoy this as a bad but fun slasher film with someone dressed as Mickey, we'll get there, as the killer, Mickey Mouse. Maybe I can enjoy this even if it's a real bad film. I ended up falling asleep again, half hour, 40 minutes in, and that's when I knew that by that point I said, this is not good at all, this movie. So I finally finished it and watched it from the beginning. So I saw the first 30 minutes of this movie 3 times in the last 24 hours, a little over that. Nothing in this movie is worth your while, is worth your time, is worth investing into this movie at all. Not worth it one bit. Even as a huge slasher fan, this movie feels like it has no soul, like it has no heart, like they didn't care about this film at all, that they just wanted to get out a Mickey Mouse slasher film because the rights became available. And as soon as the rights became available, they said, get it out there. It doesn't matter if it's good or anything. Just make sure we get this movie out there. And that's truly how this film feels throughout all of it. The acting is atrocious. The acting and the dialogue, all of it is so cringeworthy throughout this film. The only positive that I can really say about this movie is I liked the main character, Alex. I thought she was a very cute girl, and I thought that she did a decent job. It's still not good acting at all, but better than everybody else, in my opinion. And again, her being hot really helped the situation. Short plot synopsis for those who care and plan to check this out. We have Alex, the main chick, and her coworker, and they have to stay late and work an 8-kid birthday party at this place that's like a Chuck E. Cheese, basically. And the manager ends up going into his office, and he throws on, we get to see Steamboat Willie, a little bit of the cartoon with Mickey and stuff like that, so they throw that in here, and he's watching it. I don't know exactly what the hell happens. They don't explain anything in this movie, and not in the good way, where it doesn't need answers or an explanation because the mystery, the ambiguity is intriguing. No, none of that. I don't know exactly what happens. He gets possessed by Mickey in some way from the cartoon, or is it the mask itself? Because he has a mask in a little case of Mickey Mouse. And he ends up donning the mask and is controlled by Mickey Mouse. And if this all sounds terrible, yeah, it's really that bad. And he goes on this killing spree. And we find out that, this isn't really a spoiler, right? That it's not a kid birthday party that Alex and the girl have to stay late for. It's a party being thrown for Alex. It's her birthday in a few weeks, so her friends are all getting together here after hours and drinking and getting stoned and partying in this place as Mickey starts killing them one by one. Oh, and her co-worker, she fucking leaves her before they know it's a party for her, for Alex, and they still think it's a group of little shitheads, 8-year-olds. She leaves. She says, listen, you'd be the best friend ever if you just let me go out and fuck this guy. She doesn't say it like that, but that's basically what she does. And she leaves to go meet up with some guy and leaves Alex alone there. Then luckily it's her friends, not a bunch of 8-year-olds. The most important thing I say all the time for slasher movies are kills. The great kills that we're always looking for. In a Violent Nature from earlier this year has unbelievable kills in it. Even if I had some issues with the pacing of that movie and a few other things, I really mostly enjoyed that film. And the kills are just top-notch, including that one special one, if you've seen it, that I've never seen in a movie before. A slasher or any type of movie. That is just one hell of a showcase. That specific kill there. But this movie has nothing on good kills or practical effects or anything. I was shocked to see the first 3 kills were all off screen. And then the other kills we do see are just so lame and they don't even look good. And there's one in particular that it has some pretty bad CGI in it, but at least it's something, but it's near the end of the movie, so at that point I was completely almost checked out entirely. But if you don't have good kills in your slasher film, that is the biggest thing for me, and a lot of us slasher fans. And the only times that may work, if you don't have great kills or you have cutaway kills, is if you have real engaging characters and you have a great killer and you have a great story and dialogue. Everything else has to be really, really good to enjoy a slasher film with shit kills or non-existent ones. Unfortunately, this movie is just awful across the board. Everything. I really can't think of a positive for this movie aside from liking Alex's character. And then we have a little love triangle of this nerdy kid who they all grew up together as friends since they were kids, because they mentioned that they came here for birthdays all the time growing up since they were kids. So he likes her and he's too afraid to ask her out. And then you have the jock who also likes her, but then she also says that she's still like, I don't know if she says it's just to fuck with the jock guy or if she's serious, but she says like, I'm still like trying to figure out if I'm straight or if I'm gay and stuff. So then we have all of this thrown in here that's not engaging in any way, and the dialogue, again, just is so bad in this movie. I don't know what they were thinking writing this film, and that's the feeling you get throughout this entire movie. Even Mickey doesn't look good. His voice I didn't care for. He can teleport for some reason, for no reason, actually, I should say. There's no reason for this guy to be teleporting, aside from them just thinking, all right, we got to add something to this script. What should we make Mickey, the serial killer, do? Let's make him teleport. Perfect. And that was just all the thought that went into it, and it was shoved into the film, just like everything else. And then they find a weakness to combat his teleport powers, and that's even more ridiculous. The entire way this story is framed, too, is bad. And it's very, very weird that we see this from the perspective of one of the surviving friends, and she's in a cell being interrogated by two police officers that are, one is playing bad cop to a comic level, pretty much, and then you have good cop, and they're trying to figure it out, and she's recounting all the events of what took place with Mickey killing everybody to the cops, and she's being like a bitch on purpose, but like they're also being dickheads to her and not letting her continue to tell the story, and they're demanding answers that she's about to say, and all of it does not work well at all for the way to frame this story. I would have enjoyed this so much more, and I mean so much more, on the bar that it's already at of abysmal. But more is more, right? If none of that was in the movie, if it just started with them in the location and everything played out, and we had none of this going back and forth to the cops with Becca, I think her name is, the surviving friend in the cell, none of that worked for me at all. I don't know what they were thinking there either. And that's from a while ago where I was getting at, of what you feel throughout this entire movie is just nothing. You feel no type of passion. You feel no type of excitement for the people who made this and wrote this. You feel no good feelings, emotions, nothing. This movie is just as bland as can be. This is probably the worst slasher film that I've seen since It's a Wonderful Knife. The Christmas slasher from, I don't know if it was last Christmas or the year before that, whatever. That was terrible also. This is probably the worst slasher I've seen since then. Disregarding like very, very low budget stuff, but Mickey's Mousetrap, or The Mousetrap, which, what a terrible name for the movie now. The Mousetrap. Again, I don't know what the issue was, because they call him Mickey so many times in this movie. But if you were looking forward to this, I don't know if I should even recommend this movie to anybody, but like always, watch it if you have a desire to, of course. But all I could say is be prepared to be shocked by how terrible this film is. But maybe you'll enjoy it. I mean, I feel like maybe the kills aspect of this movie, I feel like maybe it's my fault that I expected more, even though I had no expectations for this film at all. But because of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, now 1 and 2, and the Terrifier films and stuff, but especially Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because it's another cartoon-based, horror movie, and let's take this public domain property and turn it into a slasher film. I'm expecting the kills to be like on the same level as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which have really good kills. But that's on me then, if that's my expectations for any cartoon-based slasher film that we get from now on. But I don't know. None of it worked for me, obviously. So if you guys saw this and you enjoyed it, I'm super happy for you. But this is a movie that I really want to know why. I need to know. You guys have to tell me, leave it in the comments, why you like this movie, what worked for you. And I'm generally curious. And again, I'm always happy when a movie works for other people that does not work for me. But I haven't seen anybody praise this movie in any single way since it released and reviews have been coming out. So, I don't know. The consensus seems to be this movie sucks in every way imaginable. But if you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you loved about it. And let's have a nice little conversation. Alright, guys. Finally hoping to get The Black Coat's Daughter out this weekend. But we got some watch parties, too, coming up. We got Dolls today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Matt at Pugwall 316 will be watching Stuart Gordon's criminally underrated film, Dolls. That'll be a blast. And then Saturday night at 10 p.m., me and Chris from Chris C. the Slasher Dude will be watching an underrated Lucio Fulci film, even among Fulci fanatics, A Cat in the Brain, which is such a great movie. A Cat in the Brain is very divisive, as I said, but I've always enjoyed it, and I just recently rewatched it. So I like it enough that I'm willing to watch it again, like within a month of last seeing it. But see you guys for those watch parties and The Black Coat's Daughter when I get that out. And hope everyone's having a good morning, afternoon, or night. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.